presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hey there. Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you've tuned in, and as always, brought to you by the Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. This is our first high school basketball scoreboard show, and we are live here coming to you from our studio here in Bolivar, Missouri. We'll run through some scores from Monday and Tuesday night, and a few scores tonight here Wednesday, January the 14th as well. We'll start off on the girls' side from scores from Monday night. It was Brentwood over Afton, 63-14. Alton defeats Bakersfield 43-23. Ash Grove now 10-4 on the season as they defeat Blue Eye 55-35. Bell over Conway 68-22. Pleasant Hill defeats Belton in the Pleasant Hill Invitational Tournament, 63-47. Lee Summit West over Blue Springs South, 65-16. Lee Summit West girls are now 11-1. It was Bolivar over Springfield Central, 57-19. Bolivar now 11-3. Boonville in the California Tournament over St. James, 78-30. It was Bourbon over Valley, 48-18. Branson defeats Aurora 61-46. These are girls' scores from Monday night. Canesville over Bramer 38-35. Brunswick defeats Northwestern 69-16. Bunston over Lincoln 47-34. Bunker now 12-0 in the Union girls tournament as they defeat Washington 50-48. Ava 52-34 over Kabul. Excelsior Springs over Cameron 51-32. Carl Junction over Joplin 59-30. Summit Christian Academy 38-30 over Center. Smithville defeats Central St. Joe 37-32. Charleston over Scott County Central 63-49. Chillicothe in the Bill Burns shootout defeats Lathrop 51-30. Chillicothe now 11-1. Colt Camp 43-34 over Concordia. Again, girls scores from Monday night. Crocker defeats Eugene 57-26. Dadeville over Jasper 46-43. DeKalb defeats Winston 51-22. Diamond in the Golden City tournament over Liberal 56-38. Donovan 13-1 now on the season. They defeat East Carter 70-29. Gainesville goes to 11-3, 48-47 win over Dora. Lamar 45-37 over East Newton. Mount Vernon defeats El Dorado Springs 47-28. Southern Boone over Eldon 52-35. Ellsbury defeats Van Far 40-33. Fairplay over Billings 42-38. Battle defeats Father Tolton 44-38. Francis Howell North over Riverview Gardens 72-30. West County 70-23 over Grandview. Green City in the Milan tournament defeats Novinger 62-31. Greenfield over Everton 57-25. That also in the Golden City tournament. Hardin defeats Norburn 41-33. Liberty out of Winsfield 54-17 over Hazelwood East. Brashear defeats Heartland Bethel Senior High 63-19. Herman in the South Callaway tournament at Mocaine, they defeat Vienna 53-45. Hillcrest over Camdenton 71-46. Portageville 13-3 now, 74-23 win over Holcomb. Lexington over Holden 57-31. Salem defeats Houston 58-45. Dixon over Iberia 53-44. Dixon now 12-2 on the season. Jackson still undefeated on the girls' side as they defeat Farmington 76-25, and that was a Farmington team that was 11-2 coming into that contest. St. Teresa Academy over Kearney 63-42 in the Kearney Classic. Cape Central defeats Kelly 55-46. Kennett over Dexter 59-27. Knobnoster defeats Lafayette County 53-39. Was Lakeway over Richland 54-50. Lee Summit over Winnetonka 65-27. Fredericktown defeats Lesterville 59-23. Benton over Liberty 55-44. Lockwood now 12-1. They defeat Bernal 74-26. Logan Rogersville over Rolla 52-36. Stoutland over Max Creek 66-34. Macon over Hallsville 51-28. Lynn County defeats Madison 65-54. Jennings over Maplewood Richmond Heights 31-27. Fortland defeats Mansfield 51-26. Morrisville, the Pleasant Hope Invitational, defeats Pleasant Hope 66-45. Mark Twain over Silex 45-42. Marshfield now 14-3 on the season. They defeat Glendale 58-36. Parkway North over McClure 77-15. Again, these are girls' scores from Monday night. Warrenton over McClure North 56-22. Melville defeats St. Louis Notre Dame 49-38. In the South Harrison Invitational, South Harrison defeats Mercer 56-29. Timberland over Moberly 52-32. Monroe City defeats Hannibal 50-24. Again, these are girls' scores for Monday night. Russellville over New Bloomfield 73-17. Newburgh over Niangua 57-37. Nixa 69-32 over Carthage. Stanberry over North Andrew 45-37. North Kansas City 87-14 over Raytown South. Blair Oaks defeats North Callaway 50-39. Notre Dame to Scion 43-35 over Pembroke Hill. Pexico over Oak Ridge 62-56. Jamestown over Otterville 31-23. Pacific defeats Crystal City 52-41. Park Hill South over Grandview 63-49. Parkway Central 65-43 over Pattonville. Union Star defeats Pattonsburg 46-39. Fayette over Pilot Grove 58-23. Platte County 53-38 over Truman. Plattsburgh 52-20 over Polo. Potosi defeats Stillville 48-36. Ray-Pec over Lee Summit North 60-24. William Chrisman over Raytown 60-28. Reed Spring now 13-4 on the season, 44-26 over Parkview. Richmond over West Platte 45-40. Rockport over South Hope 57-26. Miller 12-2 on the season. They defeat Charcoxie 81-27. Delta over Scott City 83-36. Seneca defeats Exeter 60-20. Skyline out of Urbana over Halfway 44-29. Sykeston defeats New Madrid County Central 56-44. Montgomery County over South Callaway 52-24. Campbell over South Pemiscot 40-34. Greenwood 10-4 on the season now, 64-40 or 53 over Spokane. Monette 11-2. They defeat Springfield Catholic 45-39. Deschênes over St. Charles 62-55. St. Pius Festus they defeat Nerix Hall 47-31. Jefferson Festus 54-50 over St. Genevieve. Steam Academy over Lutheran North 65-27. Tarkio defeats West Nottoway 52-49. Thayer over Mountain Grove 80-62. Milan over Trenton 39-32. Twin Rivers defeats Malden 50-45. St. Francis Borgia 55-29 over Union. Park Hill Central defeats Valley Catholic 52-27. It was Van Buren over Clearwater 63-39. North Platte defeats Van Horn 49-45. Winfield over Veritas Christian Academy 43-30. Verona defeats School of the Ozarks 65-59. California over Warrensburg 46-31. Marion County defeats Wellsville Middletown 58-17. West Plains over Republic 67-56. Willow Springs over Liberty Mountain View 67-48. And Fox defeats Windsor Imperial 50-33. Moving into the girls' games from Tuesday, last night, it was Albany in the Stanberry Invitational Tournament over Northeast Nottoway 53-26. Appleton City's Invitational Tournament. Appleton City now is 11-2 as they defeat Miami 65-26. Ash Grove over Spokane 67-40. La Plata over Atlanta 53-26. Barstow defeats Archie 43-30. Bayless over Hancock 45-6. Yeah, 45-6. Meadville over Baviera 57-18. Statland defeats Bell 73-68. Billings over Parkview 57-48. Portageville, they're now 14-3. They defeat Campbell 60-38. Lynn over Capital City 48-39. Center defeats Central Kansas City 51-27. Chaffee over Oak Ridge 83-49. Wablo over Chilhowie 58-44. Columbia Rockbridge over Christian Fellowship 59-47. Wheatland defeats Clinton 54-18. Northwest Hughesville now 13-1. They defeat Colcamp 44-34. Metro over Collegiate School of Med Bioscience 42-40. Max Creek defeats Conway in the Lady Tigers varsity tournament at Stoutland 37-32. Crystal City over Kingston 68-38. Ellington over Valley 63-10. New Covenant Academy defeats Exeter 51-32. Fair Grove over Sparta 48-38. Fair Grove 1-11 on the season. Was Fox over Northwest Cedar Hill 69-38. John Burroughs defeats Fort Zumwalt East 60-14. Fort Zumwalt West over Fort Zumwalt North 48-42. Verona defeats Galena 57-46. Gilman City over Hale 76-29. Greenridge defeats Smithton 52-15. Greenridge girls now 12-1 on the season. Centralia, who's 13-1, over Hannibal 71-31. Harrisburg over Macon 62-60-34. Elsewhere was Nevada 11-1 over Harrisonville 46-39. Hartville in the Stoutland tournament, they defeat Newburgh 50-40. Climax Springs over Hermitage 57-36. Highland over Canton 66-30. Again, these are girls' scores from last night. Holcomb over East Prairie 58-16. St. Elizabeth now 10-1. They defeat Jamestown, who was 13-1 going in, 50-48. Heck of a game there. The Union girls basketball tournament, Jeff City defeats New Haven 63-14. Ladue over Jennings 89-32. Kansas City Christian 54, Northland Christian 34. Kelly over Valley Catholic 53-49. King City over South Nottoway 37-30. And Kirksville defeats Palmyra 56-34. Seckman over Kirkwood 52-43. Sacred Heart over Lamont 53-44. Lafayette Wildwood 51-46 over Webster Groves. Lawson 58-29 over Gallatin. Miller defeats Lighthouse Christian 73-26. Miller 13-2. Otterville over Lincoln 36-29. Louisiana over Wright City 60-30. Lutheran out of Kansas City over Maranatha Christian 52-46. Marceline in the Milan tournament, they defeat North Missouri Knights Homeschool 50-22. Pleasant Hill in the Pleasant Hill tournament, they defeat Marshall 60-33. Maryville 73-25 over East Buchanan. Sheldon over Macaulay Catholic 36-33. Mercer in the South Harrison tournament. They defeat Tri-County 40-33. Bishop of Lond over Mid Buchanan 37-34. Lamar over Neosho 66-47. New Franklin defeats Glasgow 43-35. Oak Grove over Notre Dame de Sion 46-40. Again, these are girls' scores from last night. Odessa over Penny 67-30. Hardin Central defeats Oric 52-23. Lutheran South over Owensville 53-15. Pierce City over New Heights Christian 75-48. Slater over Pilot Grove 52-33. Prairie Home over Chamois 58-14. Princeton over Grundy County 45-32. Brookfield defeats Putnam County 45-44 in the Milan tournament. Paris over Salisbury 47-32. North Shelby defeats Schuyler County 60-48. Scotland County over West Strand 39-37. Malden now 11-4 on the season as they defeat Seneth Hornersville 78-37. Brunswick over Southwest Livingston County 69-16. Southwest at Washburn 54-24 over Thomas Jefferson. St. Charles West 66, Orchard Farm 43. St. James out of Lenexa, Kansas defeats St. Michael the Archangel 56-26. Lone Jack over St. Paul Lutheran 58-21. Staley defeats Blue Valley Northwest 63-31. Staley now 12-2. Marionville now 12-3 over Stockton 58-32. Stover 68-41 over Windsor. Northeast Cairo 66-23 over Sturgeon. Summit Christian Academy, they defeat Hogan Prep Academy 43-21. Wellington Napoleon 45-31 over Sweet Springs. Troy Buchanan over Francis Howe 64-54. Troy now 11-2. Tuscumbia over Bunston 53-37. Norwood 13-2 now, 64-34 over Twin Rivers. Ursuline Academy 63-50 over MICDS. South Shelby defeats Van Far 46-35. Adrian over Versailles 52-31. Nerix Hall over Villa Deschênes 40-29. Buffalo over Warsaw 52-32. St. Dominic defeats Visitation Academy 58-21. And those are your girls' scores from last night. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back out. We'll run over some of the boys' scores from last night and then get you out of here. Certainly glad you tuned in. And, hey, do us a favor. Hey, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Go to our Facebook page and give us a like at Missouri Sports Network. And that way you will know anytime we have something coming out. Back after this.
Things are a little tight for Terrence right now. But they won't be for long, because Central Bank makes it easier for customers like Terrence to dream bigger.
More room would be nice.
With mortgage solutions that can open the door to more space.
That's what I'm talking about.
For his growing family.
Growing family?
Honey, guess what?
You got this, buddy.
Unplug and unlock. Road trips on easy mode. And a really big touchscreen for the biggest jams. And qualify for up to $7,500 in tax credit with the Equinox EV. Unlock the tech and the value. With the 2025 Equinox EV, America's most affordable over 315-mile range EV. And Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Whether your day starts early or goes late into the night, brings the discovery of something new, or just the work of getting it done, it's all easier with a little help. At Great Southern Bank, we understand the importance of having a trusted, reliable support team who can offer you helpful resources and smart options to make the most of what you have and build on it, with possibilities that inspire you to keep going. Find your support team at GreatSouthernBank.com. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Hey, welcome back to High School Basketball Scoreboard Show here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Presented by Doak Propane. For all your propane needs in Polk County and surrounding counties, see the folks at Doak. On the boys' scores from last night, it was South and Ottaway 56, Albany 55 in the Stanberry tournament. St. Genevieve defeats Arcadia Valley 65-45. Atlanta over La Plata 59-48. Forsyth over Ava 82-53. Ballard defeats Chilhowie 47-33. Columbia Battle over Christian Fellowship Senior High 65-53. Bayless over Hancock 60-22. Bell, now 12-2 on the season, 68-66 over Dixon. Benton in the Cardinal Classic at St. Joe, they defeat KIPP Kansas City Legacy 87-36. Meadville over Bevier 62-29. Faith Christian Academy 64-37 over Bishop Ward. Dexter defeats Bloomfield 61-25. In the Pleasant Hope Invitational, Blue Eye defeats Pleasant Hope 67-35. Blue Springs over Liberty North 84-77. Blue Springs South over Lee Summit North 55-48. Blue Valley North over Center out of Kansas City 74-48. Lakeway defeats Bourbon 80-29. Bramer over North Harrison 72-52. It was Kabul over Koshkonong 52-43. Capital City defeats California 69-39. Waynesville over Camdenton 47-36. Gallatin over Cameron 65-44. Campbell defeats Portageville 57-30. Bernie over Caruthersville 55-54. Central Kansas City over Marshall 58-57. Couple of close games there. New Madrid County Central over Charleston 73-54. Festus over Central Park Hills 73-42. St. Joe Central 63-37 over Paseo. Chadwick defeats Morrisville. That also in the Pleasant Hope tournament, 63-56. Scott City over Chaffee, 52-37. CBC over Jennings, 97-64. Risco defeats Clarkton, 76-38. Neelyville over Clearwater, 85-51. Clever in the Crane tournament, they defeat Gloria Deo Academy, 49-33. Colcamp over Northwest at Hughesville, 58-47. Collegiate School of Med Bioscience over Metro, 70-34. Cooter, now 11-2, they defeat Holcomb, 87-56. Daniel Academy Senior High, 38-15 over Crystal Ray. Newburgh defeats Crocker, 93-63. In the Golden City tournament, it was Dadeville 73-29 over Everton. DeSmet defeats Lutheran North 62-53. Delta over Ellington 81-25. Diamond defeats Ash Grove 46-40. Fredericktown over Donovan 53-51. Kennett defeats East Carter 53-50. East Prairie over Scott County Central 61-45. Edwardsville, Illinois over Gateway 61-30. Eldon over Warsaw 39-33. Ewing Marion Kaufman over Academy Lafayette 73-48. Eldon over Warsaw 39-33. Park Hill defeats Fort Osage 65-58. Again, these are boys scores from last night. Fox over Northwest Cedar Hill 65-33. Eugene in the California tournament, they defeat Fulton 73-41. Galena over Verona 80-30. Galena now 10-2 on the season. Gilman City over Hale 59-41. Park Hill South defeats Grandview 62-53. Green Ridge over Smithton 60-25. Greenfield in the Golden City tournament, they defeat Jasper 63-54. Twin Rivers over Greenville 67-64. Harrisburg over Macon 42-33. Harrisonville on the boys' side, they defeat Nevada 55-40. Herman in the South Callaway tournament, they defeat North Callaway 52-41. Humansville over Hermitage 70-56. Higbee over Keatsville 64-17. It was Highland over Canton 50-46. Rolla defeats Hillcrest 70-62. Big game there. Rolla now 12-2 on the season. Hillcrest is 9-5, but a very good Hillcrest team. Frontier School of Excellence over Hyman Brand 92-33. Calvin Lutheran defeats Iberia 52-49. Jackson, who's now 14-1 on the season, over Hillsboro 78-48. St. Elizabeth, excuse me, St. Elizabeth over Jamestown 63-24. Jefferson Festus over West County 57-30. Joplin defeats Springfield Central 63-42. Kansas City Christian over Northland Christian 56-36. It was Kirksville over Palmyra 48-37. Lafayette County now 10-1. They defeat Knobnoster 63-45. Sacred Heart over Lamont 79-49. University City over Ladue 77-56. Lafayette defeats Kirkwood 61-46. Stockton over Lamar 61-60. Lee Summit over Lee Summit West 50-33. Leopold over Oak Ridge 75-52. Bunker, who's now 16-0. Both the boys and girls side there at Bunker having tremendous seasons. 76-33 over Lesserville. Lexington over Holden 94-87. Liberty Mountain View 80-27 over New Covenant. Lincoln 13-1 now. They 64. Otterville 23. Westminster Christian over Lindbergh 51-44. Liberal over Lockwood 49-45. Logan Rogersville defeats Ozark 54-32. Saxony Lutheran over Lovejoy High School out of Illinois 62-38. Lutheran Kansas City 61-56 over Maranatha Christian. Wablo defeats Max Creek 63-57. Valley Park over Maplewood Richmond Heights 64-62. Hazelwood West over McClure 62-46. Again, these are boy scores from last night. Sumner over McKinley Classical Leadership 73-72. Tri-County over Mercer 58-49. Pleasant Hill over Metro out of Lenexa, Kansas 69-54. MICDS now 11-1 on the season. They defeat Jeff City 63-46. Mid Buchanan also 11-1, 63-35 winners over Bishop LeBlanc. East Newton defeats Miller 64-51. Columbia Independent 56-37 over Missouri Military Academy. Monroe City over Hannibal 42-36. Montgomery County 65, Vienna 63. Mountain Grove over Licking 68-57. Mount Vernon defeats Hollister 67-51. Glasgow over New Franklin 48-43. Nixa 82. Carthage 51. Nixa now 11-1 on the season. Norwood over Houston 64-15. Notre Dame Cape Girardeau 63-57 over Central Cape Girardeau. Oak Grove over Barstow 70-50. Oakville over Whitfield 73-66. Odessa over Penny 64-57. Kelly over Oran 58-50. Branson defeats Parkview 71-52. Parkway Central over Melville 62-33. Slater defeats Pilot Grove 65-57. Winona over Plato 68-42. Again, these are boys' scores from last night. Kearney 66-33 over Platte County. Prairie Home over Chamois 52-42. Princeton over Grundy County 69-28. Marionville over Purdy 59-47. Putnam County over Brookfield 71-36. Puxico 14-1 now over Bell City 75-60. Republic defeats Lebanon 51-42. Richland over Conway 68-55. Rockhurst now 13-0. They defeat Oak Park 64-27. Miller Career 86. Roosevelt 25. Salisbury over Paris 53-38. Southwest at Washburn over Sarcoxy 60-57. Van Orn over Savannah 73-41. Schuyler County over North Shelby 79-54. West Rand defeats Scotland County 54-49. Malden over Seneth Hornersville 68-57. Sykeston now 13-2. They defeat Farmington 85-55. Smithville 10-2. They defeat St. Pius, the 10th out of Kansas City, 65-62. West Nottoway over South Holt 64-45. South Iron 12-3 now. They defeat North County 60-55. Hayti over South Pemiscot 66-63. Southern Boone 11-1 now. They defeat Boonville 64-48. Gideon over Southland 61-59. Sparta defeats Reed Spring 89-56. St. Charles West over Orchard Farm 52-40. St. James over Cuba 70-35. St. James out of Lenexa, Kansas over St. Michael, the Archangels 78-63. St. Paul Lutheran 58-30 over Lone Jack. Advance over St. Vincent 74-58. Staley defeats Ray-Pec 49-36. Windsor over Stover 64-40. It was Northeast Cairo over Sturgeon 52-37. Wellington Napoleon 37-31 over Sweet Springs. Thayer defeats Stratford 58-50. Fort Zumwalt North 82. Timberland 63. Tipton over Butler 73-59. Truman over Ruskin 64-49. Tuscumbia defeats Bunston 98-18. Van Far over South Shelby 73-50. Versailles over Adrian 69-55. Warrenton over Sullivan 59-50. Webb City defeats McDonald County 96-29. Bismarck Falls to Westwood Baptist Senior High 70-50. Raytown defeats William Christman 74-47. Winnetonka over Raytown South 70-44. And Richland Essex as they defeat Zalma 70-40. As we look at some of the boys' scores from tonight, if they've got them reported up yet, and we will check and see. But boys' scores from tonight: Chesterton Academy High School over Frontier STEM 58-47. Grandview over Bourbon 93-38. Greenwood defeats Rush 63-27. Russellville over Herman 48-45. Centralia defeats Higbee 75-45. Again, these are boys' scores from tonight. New Bloomfield over New Haven 66-58. Vianney, they're 14-1 now as they defeat Parkway North 67-33. Potosi 12-2. 77-68 over Union. Skyline in the Skyline basketball tournament 67-53 over Stoutland. South Callaway over Vienna 66-45. St. Dominic defeats St. Francis Borgia 68-38. Sweet Springs over Norburn 74-30. And West Nottoway over Tarkio 44-36. Elsewhere, Silex defeats Veritas Christian Academy 75-49. And the St. Louis Blue Knights defeats Washington High School 44-42. You've been listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.